Yeah, I don't know what that means.
That one was for Spoot.
All right. I mean, everything that we do is for Spootnik.
It's true.
We
You know
created.
that sign in The Simpsons that's like,
Who is Finley?
you're here for life, but
Do
then
it for
Homer
her,
covers it up with like Maggie's photos. Just that picture with Spootnik's face everywhere. Like, do it for her.
I had an idea the other day. I was thinking about putting a day since last incident, but it was a day since last heard about Finley Longbottom, and it was just going to keep ticking up because but yeah.
I mean, I'm the game master of the show, and I still don't know who Finley Longbottom is.
I know.
Spootnik's like backstory? Nah, man.
Hey, this is a really good job at dodging meaningful RP.
That's right.
Even fucking Carmen Sandiego was like, who was Finley Longbottom?
Jesus Christ, that would be fucking hilarious.
Try to steal his backstory, but coming over with a sack full of nothing. Welcome to episode 54, I guess. We're here. Several notes ahead of time. One, I don't remember 90% of what happened last episode. Two, I have no fucking idea where anyone is going this episode. I have zero prep done because here I made a fishing mini game and like a sacrifice skill challenge, and then the players are immediately like, fuck it, we're gonna go see the old witch back in the tower. So where the players are going, I have no idea. What the players are doing,
you've already got it figured out. Just like flip your book back to the first couple pages because we're about to touch a crystal and end up in a mountain.
Okay, well, what I'm saying to the audience is...
My favorite thing to do to Arthur is to just be like, all right, Arthur, let's go fishing. And Arthur's like, all right, drawing it up. And then the game starts like, you know what, fuck that shit.
Fishing for new character types.
I'll drag my fishing lure off the back of the boat while we're sailing there.
There you go.
It reminds me of a particular game that I ran called Night City, where I designed a complete corporate hierarchy for Arthur's backstory, and then he systematically ignored it and then killed everyone.
Look, I told you up front that I was going to be playing an asshole, and you were like, let's make a systemic hierarchy. And I was just like, these people are all huge jerks to me. I'm better than them. I could just kill them and take their jobs.
Look, Dave.
And
can
then
we have
I
a
did
moment
it.
of silence.
Then I
poor
did it.
Fucking janitor.
I killed everybody
janitor.
in that game. I killed my coworkers. I killed my coworkers' families. I killed my boss.
Yeah. Literally the very first episode, Arthur was like, I don't like this guy. I'm gonna go to his house. I'm gonna kill him. And then poor Chip and its fucking amazing cyborg wolf that he spent a long time building got literally brained in the first episode because he went up against
15 minutes in
security.
I was consistent about my goals, though. I never wavered from the fact that I was gonna kill everyone that I met.
I mean, the thing was about his wolf was like, it's like, welcome to the combat system, because it just got domed in the head, which is what, instant double damage.
Yeah.
Plus what, it's just like, it's like, all right, it was like the first round of combat.
It's not double damage. You don't understand. You only need to do 4 damage to the brain to destroy it, which is literally like, oh, you're rolling 66 for this caliber of gun.
Yeah, the thing is that most players are going to be wearing some form of armor, right?
Yeah,
the wolf does not have an armored face.
I still remember that roll. I'm just like, I can't flub this. I
thought you were gonna go. All the characters have amazing armor. My character, however, only had the armor of being a total asshole.
Oh no! My character had the best armor in the game because he could afford it. Yeah. It was called a Metal Gear.
Yep.
Metal Gear?
Metal Gear. It's literally just a full body armored suit.
Wow.
It's literally like the suit
typical
from Fallout that you step into and you just like...
It's super Iron Man before Iron Man movie even came out, so...
Yeah, 1980s, bro.
It was just hilarious because, like, you know, a couple people are like, they're hiding behind stuff, and here goes, like, episode 1, fucking typical, just walks out there, is like, come at me, bros. It's just, stuff is just pinging up. I think somebody actually used him for cover as he was walking. I don't remember who it was.
I still remember I made a scene where I was like, all right, I'm going to get these dudes. Sniper from a fucking building a million miles away. Arthur lands a fucking car on him instead.
What can I say? There's a
City was
reason
real
I
good.
stopped getting invited to being players on people's shows, Dave.
No, dude, I was fucking ecstatic about it. Honestly, I'm really excited for when you run the Cyberpunk game. I am gonna get in there and I'm gonna fucking
They've pushed it
run
back
some
again.
hell. I know.
They're never
It's-
gonna release it. Never gonna happen.
We should just play Cyberpunk, man. Just play it.
What,
Just,
2020?
as is.
Or
yeah,
Red?
absolutely, man. And then when
I'll
Red
think
rolls
about it.
around, you just move it into it. You know, like
I'll
that's
think
how you
about
do
it. The thing about 2020 is I like
It's
the
good.
idea of net running. I just don't like net running.
Yeah. Well, I
Just
think
use
I
the
think the
system
way
they have in Cyberpunk Red because they have it pretty fleshed out.
Maybe.
In the
I'll
Red
think
book.
about it.
Yeah.
I'll think about it. I got a lot of other irons in the fire right now. Eric was like, why don't you read this like one-page free RPG called Ironstorm? And I was like, Eric Vulgaris, I haven't even prepped anything for my Wednesday night show. I will not
Eric
read your new
Vulgaris.
RPG yet. Not yet,
How
sir.
dare you trigger me like this, Eric?
I'm too busy relaunching On the Tabletop for season 3. We might be doing something totally different, and writing my own BattleTech RPG because I'm tired of everyone complaining about all the shitty BattleTech RPGs. Taking
Yeah.
4 hours to make a character and then that character being thoroughly unsatisfying. Not fun for anybody.
I still just have like flashbacks to me making fucking character for Dave's other Cyberpunk game because oh my fucking god, did everything? It was like that character could be titled up. I don't know if you remember Dave as, and then it got worse
Yeah,
because
I love
Jesus
I love
Christ.
the character creation in Cyberpunk, man.
That was I got. If there was a bad roll, I could get it. I love that. Like the first thing that happened is I pissed off Arasaka, and they were trying to kill me. And then the second thing I got was I pissed off a very powerful gang because I used to like bang the gang leader's sister or something, and now he's pissed off and trying to kill me. And then the mayor's pissed off and trying to kill me. And then I fixed his car, and now he's no longer pissed off and trying to. It was like, oh my fucking god, everybody was
If
mad at
they
me. I'm just gonna
make-
live in the sewer.
If
do
they
nothing.
get even like 10% of how fucking sweet that system is into the video game, that video game is going to be literally the best video game of all time. Like, there is no way they can bring all the cool shit that they had in that game, but if they even get just a tiny amount.
Pondsmith still has creative control, right? He's super involved. So
Yes.
I mean, here's
No, he
something.
doesn't have creative control. He's
I thought he did.
he's coming in to help.
He's what do they call it? Fucking advising, I
consultant?
guess. Yeah,
Mhm.
consultant.
Yeah, I thought he had CC, but I mean, even still, like, I'm pretty sure CDPR will listen.
But
to
it's
him
a
and
good sign that
do
they're
stuff.
making an updated version of Cyberpunk role-playing game based on the mechanics that are in the game.
Mm.
So
Yeah, that'll get a lot of people interested.
anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to New Game Plus.
I just want to
episode
go back
54.
to the reminder I was doing at the beginning of the stream. I have no idea where the players are going tonight, so the stream might end early because I have nothing prepped. Now, that said, I have pages and pages and pages of information about everything that's happening everywhere. But sometimes
Should be
these guys are
cumbersome.
like, I want to fish in a river. And I'm like, okay, let's do that. And then they're like, okay, let's travel to the Far East. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I got something prepped there. You just have to go into the Dwarf Thunder Mountains. And I'm like, great, let's go to the Dwarf Thunder Mountains. I'm like,
Time
all
for the
right, well,
first-
it's time for the Iron Fury storyline. And no, they just avoided that. And they kept going, okay, well, whatever.
It's time for the first New Game Plus fishing rodeo and jamboree. It's an annual event. Everybody stops what they're doing.
You
and
know
they go
that
and fish.
point in Pokemon, like the original ones, when you get to the game center and the guy's like, hey, do you want these TMs? All you have to do is play the slot machines for hours. That's
Yeah.
us. We're the group that gets like distracted by the slot machines for 17 hours.
Look, Dave, there's a 1% chance I could get something bitching, right?
Look, man, I'm
You
just
could get
saying, I
Ice
want
Beam,
Omni
dude.
Slash on disc 1. It's really hard to do, but it pays off. You know how hard it is to beat Safer Sephiroth without Omni Slash? Folks at home know what I'm saying.
Do they though? Do they?
That's
Final
a
Fantasy,
fucking
old,
cunt.
Old ass Final Fantasy VII fans know what I'm talking about.
That is a deep cut, my friend.
Disc 1 Omni Slash is so
Holy
hard to get.
shit.
I mean, even with the remake that came out recently, like there's not that many people that know about whatever you're talking about.
Yeah, well, the remake doesn't even cover the Gold Saucer Part 1, so
Nope.
look, I was playing the remake before stream. I had like 30 minutes and I was like, fuck that shit. I'm gonna try to escape from this room. Eris, I know you're gonna be waiting for me outside, but don't be mad. And I hit literally every object on the way out. Every time you hit an object, she comes out and throws you back into your room, and I'm like, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
All right, look,
yeah.
I'm not bad at controlling this, and then, oh god, I hit another bucket!
I was
Well, I
watching.
mean,
I
At
was
some
watching
point, they
JP
just
play.
removed all the obstacles from my path, and
I was watching
like,
JP play, and he hit everyone on purpose, and
No,
like, I wonder what happens.
Yeah.
AP, you know the way you do that, right? Is you don't try and not hit it. It's just you just go. It's like if you're trying to like, oh, I'm gonna be real stealthy at night. I'm gonna go in the kitchen get something. If you try to be stealthy, you fucking hit everything. Versus if you go in there normally, you're fine. It's the same shit. You just gotta.
too late. I've
Mhm.
already failed it. I didn't get a trophy or anything for being bad at the game, but I knew it was gonna happen. I mean, it's the Final Fantasy VII storyline. Shit's 20 years old.
Consolation prize.
If that's how you got trophies, I would platinum every fucking game I play.
No, I
Wow,
did.
you're terrible at this.
I have only missed one trophy, and it's so fucking hard to get. On the motorcycle freeway fight, you have to beat the guy with 90% hit points left. And by the end of that fight, I was at like 30% hit points, and it was like, you missed this trophy, and I was like, I missed what now?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna replay this. I hear that when you get to the end of the game, you can replay chapters. I'll do it then when I can come back with like end game weapons and a bazillion health. But this is not a first try thing. This guy whooped my... I mean, he literally, when it goes past you, his sword becomes a bubble around him. So you're like, all right, let's fight in melee combat. He's like, great, I'm hitting a sword in every direction at once. And I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm not going to be able to avoid that. How do you
Just like
fight
this-
a dude in melee combat who's surrounded by a bubble of swords? It's impossible.
Very carefully.
Yeah, well, apparently you're supposed to spend a lot of time away from
Bubble
him,
shield.
waiting for your throw to recharge, and then throw your sword at him constantly.
Oh,
and I'm
for
like,
God's
yeah,
sake.
that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna wait
Andrew,
until
I
I'm
just-
super strong and murder him.
I would just like to say, Andrew, motorcycle freeway fight. Write that one down as another song for the album there.
Battle Juice.
Yeah, the Battle Juice album.
This is
Think
going
I
to be
remember.
like a 45 track album that lasts 17 hours.
Oh, it's gonna be like the Doom soundtrack. There's gonna be like 54 songs on it.
That's
Well-
gonna be 54 songs, but only 10 minutes long.
I don't know about
all composed by Finley Longbottom.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I am super excited for my free trial of Google Stadia.
yeah?
Let's
What?
start with you. How's that Google Stadia working out for you, bud? Let me understand the basics.
I'm not fucking doing that.
Let me understand the basics of Google Stadia. You have to buy the game through Google Stadia, and if the
Yeah.
service shuts down, don't get a copy of the game.
Correct.
It's lost forever. Okay, so what we're saying is that Google Stadia, in a time where Google products get shut down pretty much constantly, is an incredible risk with no payoff.
Like,
not
Google
only
Plus
that-
lasted for days. It was
No,
amazing.
Google Plus lasted for centuries. It was just terrible and no one used
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I remember when the TTRPG community was like, Google Plus is our last holdout. I'm John
my
Harper, and I'm holding it down here alone. It's just like this image of John Harper in a bunker of sandbags with a machine gun shooting down every Google executive trying to shut down Google Plus.
No, it's John Harper behind sandbags, imagining the coolest thing he can imagine.
Oh my god. Imagine
That
something
happens.
really cool.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my god. What a memeable moment years later.
Man.
Yeah.
That said, though, I just played my first real game of like, I played
Blades?
Blades like one shots before, but like yesterday we started a short campaign of it, and I'm into it.
I gotta
Did
tell
they
you,
fix poisons yet?
I am not into Blades.
Yeah,
I'm
with you.
not into Blades, but I just
Mhm.
like people I know lose their fucking mind over Blades, like people lose their mind on a Cowboy Bebop. Maybe I just
I
played
hate the
played it
fucking
wrong.
clocks, dude. I hate the fucking clocks.
It's not the
clocks
clocks,
piss me
I
off.
guess.
The clocks annoy the fuck out of
No,
me.
I'm just not that
So
into
bad.
it. There,
Like,
look, there
it's
are a lot
it's
of people that like the
GM
clocks.
tool. It's the GM tool that you use to like bring urgencies to the players. You don't fucking show the players. They shouldn't be able to micromanage the fucking clock. Anyway, whatever. It's fine.
So you enjoy
Dave
it.
is very passionate about clocks. Just
He's
so
very
everyone-
passionate about he's very non-passionate about clocks. He's anti-passionate about clocks.
He's
Look,
he's
don't
passionate
you
in his
fucking-
anti-passionatism.
Sputnik, do not come into my house and tell me what time it is. I will slap you.
That's how I enter a room, let alone a house. I'll be in your house, in your living room, I'll be like, it's this time. Then I go to the kitchen, I'm like, it's this time. And then I go to the bathroom, I'm like, it's this time. That's what I do.
Your entrance is like, y'all know what time it is? I'm like, Spooty, get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, all right.
So as long as we've said that, you did enjoy your time.
My time.
Not you.
Oh God, it's triggered.
Oh, I thought we were still talking
Are you
about.
talking-
I meant
talking about my
Drumurboy. You
time
enjoyed
with-
your time playing.
It was like session 0, so we're getting our crew set up and like what we're doing. So I enjoyed it.
Nice.
I thought you were talking about Google Stadia. I'm like,
No.
I don't touching that shit.
According to the internet, nobody touching that shit.
It's true.
Well, it's because it's like console, right? I mean, you got to buy the game and you're paying for a service to then play the game. It's like, how about you go fuck yourself?
It's like me in high school.
what-
Nobody's
You
touching
know what
that shit.
annoys me the most is that there's no way they developed that in a fucking bubble. But
No,
yet
they
it feels
thought
like
it would be
feels
cool.
like they developed it in a bubble because they didn't seem to ask what gamers or look into what gamers' habits are. Because
Well,
clearly they
Or
understand, like if they just looked, they would be like, oh shit, people seem to buy games in one spot because they really like having a library. Huh. Why is
or
that?
people bought
If they
these
just
games
ask that
3 years
question-
ago. Let's make them buy them again.
Exactly, right?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, plus it's like, oh, we're gonna, it's. I mean, one of the obviously other than the buying thing, it's like, oh, let's overpromise and underdeliver, which is like, okay, a lot of stuff does that, but when you promise 15 features and you have 2, it's like, what? Especially with like the resources that Google has, it's like there's no excuse for that shit.
It takes a lot.
You
but
have infinite money and resources. You can make this work.
No, I'm
They
with
just
Google
didn't.
on this one. If they don't have any install base, why the fuck would they work on it? Like straight up.
I mean,
like,
I get why
would
they
do
just
this shit?
it's just like the idea is fine, but the execution was so fucking. It's not even half-assery. It's like Epic Game Store level of.
You gotta hand it to them though. It takes a lot to make Epic Game Store look good.
Yeah.
Guys,
Stadia has a fucking shopping cart.
you guys should really, really be more thankful to Epic Store because without them, like honestly, without them, Steam would be a much, much bigger monopoly than they are. Like there
Sure.
are subtle
I mean-
things that have been introduced for developers on Steam that have only existed because of the fact that there's sizable competition in the marketplace.
Yeah, which
Without
is
it, it's like,
awesome.
yeah.
Like as a Steam user, I'm glad Epic Store exists because we get cooler shit.
Stadia is the Steam killer.
But Tim Sweeney's still
It's-
a fucking crazy asshole, and I can't stand that man.
I mean, when you can sit there and use a poorly designed remote control with a laggy connection to your favorite games, and then switch over to play on your Google phone and not any other phone, guys, it's amazing. Seriously.
There's one thing to say about that. Oh yeah. Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, I mean, the Nvidia Shield has a very similar product
Yeah,
right now, and
it
you
works
can use it,
infinitely better.
and you can use it with an existing library of games on Steam.
Hmm.
So,
But this is from
literally
Google,
being-
and they have wacky and funny and surrealistic commercials.
From Reggie Watts. You
Yeah.
know, Reggie Watts.
Yes,
You know that
yes,
relevant guy?
influential.
who?
Exactly.
Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
From the same company that brought you current day YouTube. Stadia.
You know, that was my favorite thing about the Captain Marvel movie when that guy showed up.
Oh,
Who guy
Ronan the
from-
Accuser? Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, I'm this dude. It's like, wait, did they just get the same actor to play? No, it's the same dude.
No, it's the same. No, because it takes place earlier.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
because he's always Ronan's underlord. He's one of the accusers.
That was the best part of that movie.
I wouldn't say it's the best part of that movie, but
I didn't see it. I watched all the Marvel.
No,
movies.
you're right.
The game and
the best part of that movie was when she crashed through the Blockbuster, and I'm like, I remember Blockbuster. Yeah, that was the other part of the movie.
dude, the best part of Blockbuster is when they closed and they were selling all their shit for like 85% off. As a poor kid, that was great.
This poor kid.
and look,
Just getting like rental stuff. Yeah.
there was some look. I'll say the best part of that movie was when she's fighting her female team member. And she was like, you knew all along. And she's like, that's right. And she's like, is that why we never hung out? And she's like, no, that's because I just hated you. I was like, wow, they waited the whole movie to make that joke.
I think
Yeah.
the
That was
only
it.
good part of that movie was the de-aging they did for Samuel L. Jackson. And Andrew, not seeing Captain Marvel, you didn't miss anything. Yeah,
Just
you
the
didn't miss
flirting.
anything.
I saw it in a movie cinema where they were trying out this new tech. You know those? Okay, it was tech where they had one screen here, but then they had two screens like here on the side of the cinema,
Oh,
and they would show like extra parts of the surroundings, but it would be like sort of blurred and stretched, so that your
Mhm.
peripheral vision picks up like extra parts of the picture.
Like this. I'll tell you what that'd be
Interesting.
cool for, though.
Yo, it didn't work.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it would. That would be really cool for like a fighter pilot movie, like the new Top Gun.
Yeah.
Like anytime he's in the
Yeah,
cockpit,
that-
like a cockpit views you. But
Yeah, no.
Well, yeah,
If
that's
also, the
really
new Top
made
Gun is
for it?
going to be some real bad bullshit.
Oh no, it's gonna be stupid. As soon as they're like, oh, it's modern day aircraft. It's like, so you're gonna fire a missile, engage something at, because it's called BVR, beyond visual range, because you can't fucking see what you're shooting at. So is it just gonna be like a radar screen the whole
No,
time?
I'm sure that
It's-
what's going to happen is that the Chinese will satellite failure, all systems will be shot down, and only an old dogfighter like Maverick will be called in for that point-to-point battle that only he can provide.
Yes. Both your heat-seeking and radar-guided missiles are no longer going to work magically because aliens.
The alternative,
they'll do some
the
stupid
alternative
bullshit.
is you get Will Smith in the movie, and he shows up and he punches an alien in the face and says, "Welcome to Earth," and then all of
Yeah,
a sudden
well,
it's a good movie, right? Like
At least there's aliens involved
that's
at
how
that
you
point.
fix it.
Look,
See,
Like-
Spoonie's
are you
on board.
look
Like-
Independence Day? I wouldn't
Wait,
say
what movie? No, this is an independent idea that I just came up with.
Independence Day may not be cinematic mastery, but it's a pretty good movie, especially
I'm not
compared to
dissing
some.
that movie at all. I love that movie.
I
think
mean, when
movie's
that
brilliant.
when that movie came out, like when we saw the first like what do you call it, like preview or whatever, and it showed the White House getting blown up, all of us were kids and we had just lost our shit. We were like, oh my god, this is going to be amazing.
Name a better
practical effects
scene
they used
than
in the
this.
movie.
Yeah, name a better scene than the golden retriever jumping into the subway tunnel
While the
out
fire
of the
comes behind it.
explosion. Name a
Yeah.
better scene.
The
Name a better
guy
scene.
flying back into the alien mothership, screaming, "I'm
No,
back!"
I'm
Okay,
back.
all right. The only
I-
other
I
scene
still
that comes
post that
close to
meme.
that is when Ivan from GoldenEye says, "I'm invincible," and then the roof falls.
I am
on him.
invincible.
That's
I
totally
still
what this movie-
post that meme every like July 4th of where it's like was it Randy Quaid saved Earth by piloting his F-18 into the whatever.
I'm just impressed that they shoved that as a prequel to MIB.
Is it?
Ooh.
I just like imagining a Will Smith cinematic universe where it's Independence Day, then MIB, then it goes into the
No, it starts off as Wild Wild West.
yeah, Wild Wild West,
It's like,
Independence Day, the Men in Black
then
trilogy,
then
then
the AI movie.
iRobot, and then Gemini Man.
No,
There's
no,
a great.
no.
There's a.
I
You
great
missed,
Robot.
you missed I Am
as
Legend
well.
in there.
No.
Legend
it's
after
I-
Gemini Man. I think.
But then it's that the movie where he's like walking around with a dog and all the zombies are.
Yeah, that's I Am
in-
Legend.
that's,
Okay. Oh, sorry. I thought you were mentioning the one where he plays the asshole superhero. What was that one called?
oh, Hancock.
Hancock.
Hancock. Ah.
I don't know where
God
that
damn
would
it.
fit. That might be like a offshoot of Gemini Man. Like young Will Smith, the clone, actually turns into Gemini Man.
I like the Matt
like
Damon
the
cinematic
link
universe.
timelines. Oh my
Yeah, man.
The Matt Damon cinematic universe is kind of funny. It's just he's actually immortal, but he keeps finding himself getting stuck in places. You know, he's World War II, and then it's like I love the one where it shows like the amount of money that we have spent getting Matt Damon's ass off of wherever the fuck he's stuck next.
Yeah, man. And then that one movie where his wicked smart.
All right.
The best cinematic universe
No.
though is Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito with twins. They meet up, and then Danny DeVito gets Arnold Schwarzenegger pregnant.
And then they both turn into Batman villains.
Man, Dutch really let himself go.
Spootnik, we have to jump back to your intro.
Oh my god, I didn't think of that one, Andrew. That's fucking amazing. Oh.
So Google Stadia, right?
Yeah.
Got anything else?
No. Somehow Google Stadia led to Danny DeVito getting Arnold Schwarzenegger pregnant.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how are you doing,
As it
buddy?
tends to do.
Good.
Okay.
Furlough's treating you well?
Oh, I'm back at work now.
Oh, are you? Dang.
Yeah. Hooray.
Hooray.
Damn.
That's about it. Just been working.
All right. Drumurboy, what do you got?
Just working on the Star Warsy stuff. Trying to figure out. I figured out the instrument that they did for the Mandalorian. I was watching a whole bunch of documentary stuff. The guy who did the Mandalorian soundtrack did the Black Panther soundtrack, which is cool. So that might like ding some bells if you like are a fan of the Black Panther soundtrack.
I am a
like,
fan of all of the Warmonger tracks, Killmonger tracks.
You know how they did that? There's
By
like
being awesome.
there's a African flute called the Fula flute where like you blow into it like a normal flute, but you also can say words and they also like resonate the flute. So they were yelling Killmonger in whatever language. Like I don't know if they made up a language for Wakanda or if they like took it.
They co-opted one of the languages and changed a couple of little things with it.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name.
But
It's
they
in
were
one of
like
the behind-the-scenes
screaming
things.
Killmonger into this Fula flute, and that's what the Killmonger track revolved around. And the T'Challa theme was something called a talking drum, where like there's strings that tension the drum head, so they have it under their arm, and they can like they play it and they change the pitch as they go. So they kind of got those to like Ludwig Göransson, I think is his name. The composer was like, "How would you say T'Challa with this talking drum?" And he had like an ensemble of African drummers do that, and then that became T'Challa's theme too. It's a lot of cool shit. But
language is called Isiosa or something. It's one of the like 11 official
Man,
languages of
that's some
Africa.
fucking deep lore. Holy shit.
yeah. Well,
I'm
like
ready for that.
and then I read an interview because there's no like footage of them playing the Mandalorian stuff live yet. I guess it's too new and they haven't played. Well, like, and right now there's no concerts happening anywhere. So there's nothing to film, but
I mean, the
The
Backstreet
witness-
Boys did a thing. Yeah, sorry, please.
the Backstreet Boys did a thing.
Yeah, no,
Like
it
a
might have been
virtual thing?
NSYNC. No, it was a meme for a while. Don't worry about
Oh. The wind instrument is a bass recorder, like basically a giant ass recorder with keys and stuff. Now I'm trying to figure out the like synthesized drum amalgamation that like the Mandalorian is pretty well known for. Like the Mandalorian theme that like dun 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 is like actual got tones to it. Like that's like carrying the bass. So I'm trying to figure out what combination of things make up that sound, and then the rest of it's all going to be like your general orchestral John Williams-y Star Wars stuff. But I was talking about my synth last week that I ordered. It came in like a day after. I got my little boy, my little.
Dan, that
Synthie
looks actually
fanboy.
pretty sweet.
Yeah, I've got a couple jams with it on my Instagram, and then I'm also like cutting those jams up into tracks. So I might have a new short EP coming out soonish, depending on how fast I can get these edited together and continue my other work. But if you want to see that, they're on my YouTube as well. Just if you type Drumurboy into YouTube, I've got 2 small jam sessions up there. One's 10 minutes long, the other's 11 minutes long. They're cool. Playing with my reverb pedal and that thing, and they're chill jams. That's about it. What I've been doing.
I wish I had a witty reference to be like, oh, you know, when I order synths, I expect them to look like Harrison Ford, but I realized they didn't call them that in Blade Runner. They weren't called synths.
No.
And I was trying to find a form of fiction where they were called synths, and
Fallout.
Yeah, Fallout.
damn it. The
It's
thing
okay.
is, I don't think Fallout is that good.
Yeah.
People fucking love Fallout, and I liked Fallout 3, but I could never finish New Vegas, and
I've
4
never
was
Played a Fallout.
okay, but that guy Preston kept showing up and being like, another settlement's under attack. So by the end of the game, I had saved literally every settlement in the entire world.
Oh, I just
And
had a
he
mod that
didn't
made
show up
Preston fuck off.
anymore. Didn't show up anymore, bitch.
You know, he got what he wanted from you.
Yes, he did. And I used him as a meat shield during that final battle against the weird, crazy people.
Yeah, my friends were way into Fallout, but it was just like, it just seemed like Oblivion, which I was super into at the time, but like post-apocalyptic. I don't really care about that.
Yeah, like, it's
there's
not
a lot of the
bad,
same
and it's
mechanics,
definitely
a lot of the
something to
same
do. The one that had Liam Nielsen in it, was the first one that I played in, was obviously the best, mostly because of Liam Nielsen, but you're looking confused, Dave. Plays your dad in Fallout 3.
Yeah.
Oh,
He shows up at the very beginning and very end of the
Very
game,
end.
and that's it. And that's the other thing about Fallout 3 was Iron Patriot that shows up and he's like, destroy all communists, America forever.
They
Liberty
do that a
Prime.
lot with those
Yeah,
games.
Liberty
right?
Red
Prime.
Chinese detected, and I was like, this is the greatest thing I have ever done
That
in my
movie
entire
where
life.
Liberty Prime is marching down the street is probably the best thing.
Death is a preferable alternative to communism.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so
Liberty
good.
Prime is fucking. I had a buddy who used to have all of his phone notifications were all Liberty Prime quotes. It's great.
mean-
You make him show up in 4 as well.
Liam Neeson is cool and all, but Patrick Stewart in Oblivion, come on.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I was about
I
to
never played
say.
it, but-
Like they do that a lot with their and Ron
I think-
Perlman.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
Oblivion was the first game where my mod installation folder was larger than the install size for the base game. Because you just and Shivering Isles is still like probably my favorite like expansion to a non-MMO. Just I love Shivering Isles and Shellgrath. I love that expansion so fucking much.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
I gotta be honest, I haven't played anything but Skyrim, and I fell down a hole one day where I was following the wiki, and there's like a special race of people called nerves or narcs or something, and the
Oh, yeah.
world is a hub with 8 spokes, but it's also a tower, and there's every 1,000 years or something, there's a crazy period of Elder Scrollness where no one can remember what happened during that time, and they're like, well, I remember a dragon attack, and your neighbor's like, there wasn't a dragon, there was a blight. I was like, this whole fucking storyline is bonkers. Nothing makes sense. How can the world be a wheel and a tower, but also have spokes? Like, someone was smoking some serious shit when
if you
they
played-
wrote this.
If you played the VR version of Skyrim, there's a new starting location that is like this cosmic tower where you pick shit.
Damn it. I don't understand.
I always liked for my Skyrim playthroughs, I'd get like the alternative start mod where instead of being whatever, it's like, I'm just like you can just be like a dude who
Nope,
like
you know
who,
me,
like,
I fucking love that opening sequence. Oh, you're finally awake.
You're finally awake.
I
Hey, you're
fucking
finally
love
awake.
it.
I got caught trying to cross the border and that thief over there. Yeah.
I don't know why. I just really like it.
I mean, it's fun. I like my favorite part about that opening is actually just like the recreations people have done of it. And my favorite is one where a guy it goes through like the first bit or whatever, and then it's a guy waking up the back of like a deuce and a half, and they're a bunch of army guys, and he wakes up, and it's just like they recreated the scene one for one in real life with just a bunch of soldiers and a deuce and a half, and it's fucking hilarious.
I just remember a bunch of web comics coming out around the time of that intro, and like the person that's like, you come forward, getting progressively more freaked out the more forms you change because you're creating.
Oh yeah, what is happening?
Yeah, just staring the shit out of the guy. There's so many fucking great like memes from that. I don't know. I played the fuck out of Oblivion because it's just like Oblivion was the like crazy game of its time, just because it was so poorly optimized. Like in order to play it well, you had to have a fairly beefy machine for. I mean, this is like back Pentium 3, Pentium 4 days. And I remember,
I played
doing
Oblivion
everything I could
on
to
the
get
Xbox
Oblivion around.
360. So like,
yeah, but
with the infamous horse armor that costs like $150 or whatever the fuck.
It was like $20, but for the time it was like it was like the first DLC, like cosmetic DLC like that, or it's like, oh, it's like $20 and it does fucking nothing. It just makes your horse look cool. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Still brought up to this day. So, but yeah, God, Oblivion. I don't even think about how much time I spent in Oblivion.
You know, Atomic.
Yo,
Let's do your.
sup? I've been playing DCS, learning how to fly. Let me phrase that: learning how to start and taxi aircraft again because that shit's complicated as fuck. And then I've been playing Generation Zero because it's had been like a free week or some shit. It's the one where like there's like been like a robot invasion thing somewhere in Sweden, and you have to figure out what the fuck happened. And I've just been confused because I can't read anything, but I've been playing it with a Swedish buddy who's been translating for me. So it's great. But we've been messing around with that. Like you start with nothing and like you have to scavenge weapons and ammo, excuse me, and all that sort of thing. It's just a little open world thing. You're just trying to figure out what the fuck happened. But I mean, it's, you know, it's kind of a walking simulator, but there's a lot of combat too. So just been messing around with that, just hanging out. It's been pretty fun. I think it's still got like 3 days left and a free whatever thing. So people can check it out. It's pretty much been about it. So other than that, it's just been a slow week of having all my doctor's appointments rescheduled because of the incident. So it's pretty much been it.
You don't have to call it the incident.
Oh, well, I'm conditioned at this point now. I've even been calling it the incident, like in casual conversation. I've done it. I did it to my mother.
I mean, look, I love referring to things as the incident just to make it sound mysterious.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you talking? I feel like I should just in future just call anything bad the incident, just to mess with people.
Look, I mean, it's movie writing and novel writing. It's literally the cheapest way to just be like, there's a mysterious backstory incident that everyone here understands implicitly, but the reader watcher has no idea.
It's
a super shitty move to pull, and that's why I love it.
There's a
I guess I better rewrite my novel.
There's a Mitchell and Webb skit.
Is the first line the incident? We all know what I mean when I say that. A room full of people nod. Then I don't need to explain any further why we're doing this. Let's begin the attack on the White House.
Incidents never change.
There's a Mitchell and Webb skit where like there's a bunch of people in a bunker, and anybody who they'll say like, you know, the incident or whatever, and if you think about it, it was so horrible that it drives people crazy, and then they just fall over dead. So it's like everybody trying to talk about what happened without thinking too much about what happened, because if you think about it, it was so horrific, people just fall over dead, and they never mention it. It's a running gag. They do it in like every season. It's just immediately what I think of when we say the incident.
Reminds me of the Monty Python sketch where they're like, someone wrote a joke so funny it killed people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they had to like translate it. They had to have multiple translators do it line by line,
they kept
so they
dying,
couldn't figure it out. Yeah,
yeah. It's kind of, it's probably where they got that whole thing from. But it's the same thing. But it's just a bunch of people in a bunker, and like it's fucking hilarious. But I mean, it's just been another slow week, man, with everything being closed down. I mean, you know, it's like I haven't really been doing much. So
weird update. I went to the store. All the toilet paper is restocked, but there's no flour.
Weird.
People are
make
making
toilet paper
bread
out of flour.
instead of-
I was gonna say, people are probably watching that Alton Brown kitchen quiche, and
Yeah, man.
he's out there using all the flour in America right now. Look, I love his show where he goes back and watches his old shows from the 90s and is like, everything I'm about to say is totally wrong.
Man.
I would not do that to my own shows. It would be terrible. Be like, remember when I did this in episode 1 of Night City? I completely ignored the main plot. Wouldn't remember it until 5 episodes later, where Dave is like, hey, remember when your boss asked you to do that thing? And I was like, what? No, we're in the middle of doing a gun buy. And Dave is like, yeah, you were supposed to do that in episode 1. You decided to go kill your coworker. And I was like, record scratch?
Yeah, I bet
You might be
that's
right,
me
Dave.
there. I bet you're wondering how I got here.
Everything you're saying sounds correct, but now I'm going to kill my boss.
I imagine
5 years from now, rewatch the episode where you figure out there's a card game in this game.
the scene. I imagine, Dave, this like the intro where it pauses. You know, I bet you're wondering how I got here. Is him like yeeting a guy off the roof? It's like he just stops
You
like
know what
as
it
you're
is? It's
throwing
not
the
just
guy.
it's not just a guy. It is a character I designed to be completely helpful to the party, who is very interesting for me to play. That they just went, oh yeah, cool, come up to the roof, and I'm like,
Well, I mean, you know how that goes, right? Have you ever seen the scale? It's almost like, you know, the hot crazy scale, but it's like, you know, how much work you put into an NPC and how quickly the PCs are
I
going
was
to
like,
kill them off.
Okay, the players need some way to subjugate the media to bend their whims. What if I bring a journalist, aka a media, into the group who's also very charming, very interesting, very charismatic? And Arthur's like, I'm gonna throw you off the building.
Look, my favorite moment in that game was when some woman was like, you abuse women. And I was like, that is untrue. I would never put my hands on I would never sexually abuse a woman. I'm going to throw you off the roof, but it's not sexual. It's just because I want to murder you.
I'm an equal opportunity murderer.
It was so deeply complicated scene.
Man, this NPC is so like smart and handsome and creative. I wonder how bouncy he is. Woo.
You got anything else, Atomic?
No, it's pretty much been it. Oh, I can't wait till this shit's over with, man, because I've now missed 2 concerts. I know it's like, okay, it's a stupid petty thing.
You're gonna be missing them for a long time.
I know.
friend.
It's just luckily the one I was supposed to go to a tier concert on Friday, and luckily because they pushed their tour back, but all of the they did the cool thing of all the existing tickets are still valid. So whenever they push it back, like whatever venue is around here, they said they're going to arrange it so that, you know, all those tickets are still valid, which is not, I appreciate that. It's a cool thing to do, but it's still just like, you know, and yeah, it's okay. Yeah. People are dying. It's petty. It's stupid, whatever. But it's just like, you know, it's just something to do, like an escape. And it's like, oh, just all that shit's been shut down. It's just.
On the bright side, though, a lot of these bands that would be touring are writing instead. So
yeah, and
a lot of them like a little faster. Which
a lot of them have been doing, you know, like live shows and stuff too. But it's like I appreciate them doing that, but at the same time, it's like being at a metal concert and listening to a metal concert. The experiences are obviously nowhere near the same.
I agree.
So,
Going to a baby metal concert would be incredible. God,
I mean,
he died inside when I said that. He died.
I was about to say up to the point where I kill myself. Yeah,
I would I would totally be down to going to a baby metal show.
I don't object to baby metal. They are all right.
I've watched live videos of them. Like, they look insane.
I mean, I respect its right to exist. I just want nothing to do with it.
Sure, that's fine.
That's your prerogative. It's fine. Music is subjective.
Yeah, for sure.
No, it's not. Music is absolute.
What was it? What was it? One of my band directors said. He said, "There's a difference between music and loud fucking noise."
You could write a whole fucking college thesis about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I saw a thing this week where it was someone at like a music board that was like, come on, it's not rocket science, people. And then it's a rocket scientist who's like, come on, it's not music theory, people.
Man,
I don't understand music
fucking
theory.
Stupid, man. It's very smart, but it's so stupid.
Yeah. But I love that his way of telling us that you suck is saying there's a difference between music and noise. It's just fucking hilarious.
Tell that to John Cage.
Well, the band director, he was a competition band director, right? Like that's what he did. He was a competition judge on like weekends, like, you know, schools and whenever they're band competition or whatever, they'll bring in independent judges. That's just what they, you know.
So a judgmental asshole, yeah.
But that's just, oh yeah, no. But he was either like, if you listened to him and took his direction, whatever, he was super cool, super chill, whatever else. But if you were a pain in his ass, he would come down upon you like the fist of an angry god, and I fucking loved it. So, you know, he's very much like almost like a drill sergeant in a way. Like, you know, he would break you down, but then he would build you up better. And it was, you know, it's pretty good.
Here, Atomic likes being fisted by angry gods.
Got him.
You know, some people pay extra for that.
Is that the new DLC for the latest Kratos game?
Oh God.
Just
That's
the OnlyFans account.
Dave.
OnlyFans.
New game ID. New game idea.
No, you keep your curse away from me.
Dave's got too many games to make. He's still got Olympic Village Simulator.
Olympic.
Yeah, he's got an extra 4 years to do that one.
It's true.
Yeah, you could get it 3D with modeling. Yeah, live action.
And just like sports games, you can like release a new version every year, but the only thing you change is like, you know, the roster.
The difference between summer and winter Olympics is just the background.
Well, things get smaller in the cold.
Fall or whether it's sunny. You know, speaking of Dave, let's talk to Dave. Dave.
Hey y'all, what's going on, everybody? My name's Dave. Pleasure to be here. I've been playing Pathfinder Kingmaker, but you know, that game is like if you're hankering for some like fucking tabletop role playing games and all you want to do is like build characters and shit, that game fucking gets me in the right way. But that's all I wanted to say because, you know, we've been talking for an hour now. I'm good to go. Let's play.
Yeah, way to try to delay us from starting when you don't have stuff prepared, Arthur. We see through
this intro that is equivalent in length to every intro we've ever had.
Nonsense.
Yeah.
Other than the times we haven't had intros at all and then tried to do them in outros. But
to be fair, Spoot, even if he did have something prepared, we would still find a way to fucking derail it within the first 5 minutes.
Let me check in with you guys about that. How did you enjoy what I call the Raddosaurus rules? No intro, only outro section.
I don't know. I mean, like I tend to enjoy catching up with your motherfuckers.
Oh, you're a motherfucker.
I like it in situations where like it seems like a dual parter episode where like we're in the middle of something like combat.
Okay.
I kind of want to like
hop back into it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Or else you forget what we're doing and fucking have to figure it all out again.
I mean, it doesn't either way. Generally, other than if somebody brings up something I actually have relevant information for, I don't do a whole lot. So my intro, outro, whatever is usually not terribly long. Sometimes it does go on.
And I could shoot the shit forever because I'm a mediocre white guy. I could start a podcast and have like 1,600 episodes.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm with you on that mediocre white guy shit.
Yeah, let me tell you something. They've called us a lot of different things when we run shows like this. You know, hosts, streamers, influencers. Now they just flat out they call you a narcissist. And you know what? I think I like that title. Professional narcissist. Putting it right there on my
professional narcissist.
Putting it right there on my business card.
My business card will just say professional salt mine.
Influencer, social media guru, fuck that shit. That's not who I am. Narcissist, capiche. I understand that
but
inherently.
Like, basically, podcasts for people like us is like, it's like talking about or like starting your sourdough starter. Like everyone does
it'll be
it.
like now
like,
when I make eggs, there's a careful ratio between black pepper and salt. It has to be carefully managed. Now let's take a look here. Oh fuck! Okay, I gotta restart. Okay, Here we go. This is a good plate of eggs. Nope. Okay.
This egg is brought to you by Squarespace.
20% off if you use the code in the description.
At least it's not fucking NordVPN. Christ.
Raid Shadow Legends.
So you like cooking eggs, huh? I bet you also like mattresses. Well, have I got a deal for you?
Yeah.
You can get a mattress in a box, bro.
Oh my god. Is
The best
there
part about
anybody
this
that
mattress is when you pull it out of the box. But
Join
that's
up
the
the-
best part about your mattress. Your mattress fucking sucks, bro.
is there
Join up
anyone
to
who
the,
has mattress codes on their YouTube channel?
Casper, I think.
Yeah,
Casper
mattresses.
I haven't
I don't know
seen
who
as
that
many.
Join up
I'll
to the subscription egg service. New box of eggs every week.
Oh, God.
Are they specialty eggs, or is it literally just 12 eggs show up at your
They're
front door?
probably like locally sourced, you know. But they're like
okay.
it's gonna happen because all these meat chickens are gonna be.
Ooh, don't
Turn
even
to
talk to
something
me
else.
about that. Listen, Delaware is the top chicken producer. We're killing 2 million chickens on Saturday. Sorry, 4 million chickens. We're killing them and then burning the bodies because there's no open plans to process the meat right now. It's real serious.
Holy
The,
fuck.
Yeah, we're about to kill 4 million chickens and set them on fire.
Yeah,
They are giving
That's a
chickens
good-
away to the general public. They're like, you want a chicken? $1.
Dude, they
Yeah.
should just do the government cheese treatment to chickens.
We have
Yeah, well,
we-
you realize government cheese is so incredibly worthless that they dump it in the
We have-
ocean?
I
have-
love that I tried to point this thing into playing the game, and Arthur's like, "Let's talk about 40 million chickens." guys."
well, we have friends that literally they got divorced because they tried to kill a chicken and it was like a horrific experience for them. They like dextered out their whole room with like plastic and stuff, and
honestly, I
they were
honestly
gonna try
believe
to kill it.
They
And
just take it out to
he
the
hit it on the
sunbelt
head.
back with an axe.
The wife
Yeah.
hit it on the head or something to try to like knock it out, but it
Oh
didn't quite
my
knock it
God.
out, so it was like stumbling around and in pain.
No,
and
please.
suffering.
You gotta stop. You can't. No,
It
no
was-
further. Nope.
It was too
No.
much.
This is way too graphic.
It was too
Meanwhile,
much.
what was the last thing you guys did? Oh, you failed a persuasion check to persuade your golem crafter friend. So
no,
is,
it wasn't the Golem Crafter. It was the.
No,
Yeah.
the Golden Crafter.
it was a
Yeah.
golem
Was it?
crafter.
I thought it was
Yeah.
some either. Okay.
No, it was the
So-
person that I let in the secrets of the universe, and then suddenly, like, joining was a step too far.
Listen, man, I didn't make you roll a natural one. That's not a thing that I can do. Or is it?
I mean, only if Sid is present in the game in the party.
I don't make Sid roll. Look, you can do the math. Sid rolls a statistically relevant number of numbers. He just plays up when he fails.
We just need to equip Sid with that fucking sword I found, just in everything.
Are you saying Sid Alpha is his own vocal minority who gets really irate when he rolls badly?
Yes. Yes, he
Wow.
is.
Look, the problem is we got his hopes up in Wrath and Glory because we had like a whole battle where we would say, "Hey Sid, please roll well," and he would roll well, and then anytime we wouldn't say it, he would roll badly, and
Well,
yeah, he had a
But
taste
now-
of the good life for a little
but
bit.
now the plan is to go back to the priests,
You're snapping back to reality.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
goes gravity.
and then we're touching a crystal
Oh my
and destroying
god,
gravity.
Spooty.
High five.
Yeah. Hang on.
Wait, we have to go across. Wait, this
No,
way.
you go the other way. Yep. Yep.
Hey, there we go.
God damn, that was stupid.
Yeah, so
it
stupid.
did not work.
Bringing mom
No,
spaghetti all over the place.
Look,
guys
Spootnik, I
remember
think
this
we
one?
can do it. You ready? You ready to do this?
Yes.
You're good. No, yeah. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. No, it didn't work.
I don't know. I don't think anything's gonna top the me handing or AP handing me that 8th edition codex.
That's
Uh,
true.
yeah.
That was
we did
good.
that
Yeah.
thing. That was pretty good.
All right, friends. You're getting back on a boat.
Yes.
You will actually be charged for your boat travel this time. You're not floating on the government's dime this time around. This
I'm not
is personal
subsidizing our
travel.
boat costs.
So, I gotta ask, like, what kind of boat are you getting on? Who are you approaching? Like, you getting a large boat? You getting a private boat? You chartering something?
Wait,
You're just gonna
weren't
get
we
on one.
already on a boat?
You are
got
currently
off the
in the colony village along the main coastline of the continent.
Yeah.
And your plan is to get a boat and ride it back to one of the islands where the main town of the Clans of the Flow is. The only permanent settlement that they have. And to go touch their crystal. I believe that's what your plan is, yes?
Yeah.
So all I'm asking is,
Good look, crystal.
tell me about this boat that you're getting.
Let's get the nicest fucking boat because we're about to have no money.
You have to go back in.
Yeah. Seriously. You can't take it with you, boys.
Yeah, no, that is brilliant.
Is there a yeah, the boat with I
get the
want the
party
room
boat.
service, party boat. I would like the long ship they use for bachelor parties.
Okay, so there's no room service, but you can definitely get a boat that has private security on board, plenty of space, and a
I would
lot
like
of
the
alcohol.
AP package, please.
Yeah, okay.
We should
With
also
all the bacon I can consume.
Well,
we should
yes,
also-
that's true.
we need to explain to Heg where to meet us because I think he's going to end up back in Granite Hold.
Yes,
Do we
you
already
have
say
he knows
Jeremy's
about
going to
that
meet us
already.
at the
current plan is to head
place.
to Rice Ricolunder's village and hang out there and wait for Rice to show up.
yeah. We
Higgs'
to
worry
go
is, of
follow
course,
us
that when he snaps back to reality, he will be at the bottom level, surrounded by all of his undead, who will then no longer be under his control and trying to kill him. Which is a very real and considerable problem for him. But that's
He'll
his
be-
own adventure. That's
He'll be
his.
fine.
That is his stone to carry forever up the side of the hill while his liver's being eaten.
Yeah.
It is.
Well,
it's.
we don't know how that's going to play out in the other timeline. If there
You have
is
no
the other
ideas.
timeline.
That's
So-
just. That is his understanding of how this might work.
Yep.
All right. So it's going to cost you 60 gold pieces to get this
That's
party
fine.
boat.
Okay.
Okay.
I sneeze and like 1,000 gold pieces fall out of my pocket.
Actually, you know what we could do?
That's not real, is it?
We
No.
could get to the town.
It sounds like something a wild magic sorcerer would do.
We could
Every
get
time
to
they
the
cough,
town,
it comes gold coins coming up.
blow a whole bunch of muddy partying for a week, get rid of our curses, then touch the crystal.
When you get rid of your curses, you also can't use your demigod powers
Oh,
until you let
Yeah,
them come
so
back in.
you say get rid of our curses, but what if we don't want to get rid of our curse? Because mine's
That's fair.
pretty dope.
yeah, I forgot. Like we actually have
Yeah.
benefits, not just
It's
Insanity.
both ways. I mean, yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, if we wanted to do that, we have money now, so we could do that
Yeah.
because we're gonna be
It'd be the-
fucking
be the time
poor
to do
shit
it.
when we get in a mountain.
Yeah.
I think just just relaxing across the ocean sounds like a pretty good fucking time. I can fish a lot.
Yeah.
Like we could get a lot of really
Could get
Like,
make use of AP's
comfortable-
fishing minigame for a bit.
yeah.
No.
Kill us
We
bad.
yeah, you haven't earned that. You can't just casually fish.
This
I
is
mean,
an
you
Animal
can't.
Crossing.
You're not gonna get the fishing skill challenge, but you can fish along the way. All right.
It's just
You
So-
fight for half an hour and you pull up an egg.
No, I wouldn't
I just
curse
do
you
the,
like
I
that.
would like the torchlight too thing. It's like, oh, you suck at fishing. Here's some dynamite. Throw it in the pond.
So, you guys essentially get the guy that takes tourists out, and charter him. He makes you pay for a round trip, even though you're only going halfway. And you know, like it's themed. It's themed. Like this is the ghosts of the islands. The raiders of the clans of the flow have sunk many a boat in these waters. And like he tells you tales, and his crew has some illusionists in it who make spooky noises happen, and like illusory ghosts show up, and like there's like included in the packages you get to fight ghost raiders at some point. And
We just hired Carnival Cruises.
yes, you've hired a
Great.
theme cruise.
Great.
At like 2:00 in the morning, they're gonna kick you out of your bunks and make you fight ghost raiders on the deck.
I love the idea that I'm just like I'm sleeping and they try and wake me up and I just like pull my sword out of the scabbard and it's just illuminating with a huge amount of fire. I'm just like, I'm okay sleeping.
Or your
Or
cyberpunk game.
the idea
did
that me and Agrim are sitting in like they're trying to like tell us these stories and we're just like doing shots of some fucking ale. Like,
Yeah, we're just getting
on the-
fucked up. It's like, hey, would you like to hear the story I have? And we both at the same time turn at them. All right, okay, guess not. And they just back off.
Yeah, so the captain is a peg-legged dwarf. He's like a gray beard.
It's a short peg.
Wow.
That's okay. I'm a dwarf. It's okay.
Yeah,
I can.
Okay. No.
I'm allowed to say it.
Nope.
Fuck.
My
That's our
name's
word.
Captain Woody Halfchub. How it goes.
No. All right, so you're all on the boat. Your cart has been loaded into the center of the boat. Riverin is incredibly excited to participate in this because she's never really heard stories before. Haig is professionally excited to participate in this because he's never had fun before.
Oh,
That's sad, actually.
That's wow.
He's a necromancer goblin that controlled an evil society of cannibals underneath. Come on, guy.
But wouldn't he think that that's fun?
He didn't think it was fun. He was just trying to live forever.
Oh.
you know
He's
what?
gonna have a hell of a. He's gonna have a hell of a few days. Like I was just at a theme park. Now I'm surrounded in people I used to control, but now don't.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm
Yeah.
actually on board now that you mention it because, like, I'm sitting there. Kelly's kind of like a little bit like, sick of this shit, getting to the point. But then she remembers that, it's like, oh yeah, my oath. Yeah, I got to embrace life a little bit more. So she'll jump in on that for sure.
Okay, Finley, how do you let's just start with ghost stories. You in or you out? Like,
Oh, I'm in.
it's totally opt in, right? Like, if you want to just sleep on the cruise and drink all the time, the crew will basically ignore you and let you do whatever you want. But for everybody that's in, it's like going to that new Star Wars resort, right? Like, when you're in, they give you Jedi robes and they have people show up on the street and be like, "Take this message canister," and you're like, "Oh shit, this is an event." Okay.
Oh, I'm in.
We're going full on Grimdark James on this one, huh?
Doc is in. Let's do
Doc
it.
is in. Agrim, are you in?
Fuck it, sure. Yeah, sure. Let's
Okay.
do it. Why not? Let's just go. Yeah, let's go all the way.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, Doc is more into it because he wants to like. This is like kind of like dad-daughter time with him and River and like faring around in a theme park kind of thing, like single dad in a theme park.
If they try and charge me 8 gold for a corn dog, somebody's getting shanked.
Oh no, you've been pre-charged. When you
Oh.
when you go to drink, everything's already been paid for, right? So yeah,
I'm in.
like he's telling ghost stories about salty raiders of the sea who have risen up in order to kill, and then, sometime right after the sun sets, he's like, "Oh, look, it's them, they're coming." And like you discreetly see some of the crew casting illusions and like a ghost boat shows up and like ghost raiders are coming. And Riverin is just like takes out her real daggers, and the captain's like, "Nay, you'll need special daggers to slay the ghosts." And he hands her like what are very
Here,
clearly
gives her the
wood
sword, and the
daggers with
sword's like,
silver
wood,
paint over them. He begins handing out wood implements to all of you with silver paint on them. And
They're,
says,
I
only
can
the
still hurt a
special
motherfucker with this.
hexagramic silver can be used to slay the ghost pirates.
Daka will like prestidigitate some like magic-y shit onto her dagger.
She's like, "Look, I know it's fake, but why did you do that?"
It doesn't
Look,
matter.
it's that hard like LARP quality foam that you can hit somebody with and it doesn't actually hurt them.
Yeah, it's got like those like clearly fiber optic lights like coming out of the handle and like.
I love the
So,
idea that I hit a motherfucker with this wooden sword and I still really hurt him with my 19 strength.
well, just to be clear, it's illusory ghosts.
Yeah,
So the boat pulls up beside yours, and the ghosts hop over and begin fighting with you all, Pirates of the Caribbean style. Like, ah! They have huge openings in their attacks. Everything is like a very slow, wide swing. It's all very theatrical. And like, whenever you meet their attack, suddenly their attack magically stops. Like the illusionist is like, eh? And they attack like, ah!
Ah, yes, the game journalist difficulty.
By the way, if Spooty's new character for Finley doesn't walk away with like
a new
memorabilia
hero.
from this place and then just
Yeah.
like make some new religion out of it and his next character, I'm gonna be disappointed.
It's a new Fungeon, Zoller says.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't have to roll for it, but this whole crew is making a performance check for all of you.
I like to imagine, Arthur, that we've done the thing of, you buy the alcohol thing on the cruise.
Yeah,
but
the package,
the
yes.
key is you have to drink more than the thing was worth to make it get your value out of it.
Yes, is that what you're doing? Like you're
So
Oh,
we're
fuck yeah, dude.
you're hammer
I had
fighting
London
and
Blink
drinking at the
fighting
same
these
time.
things.
Well, how long is this taking
wait.
us?
Look,
Like,
It'll go until 2:00 in the morning if you want to.
I
But
am a
this
dwarf
boat is
that's
a day and a
fighting.
half journey.
okay,
I'm-
so we can drink for a day and a half straight.
Correct.
I am a dwarf that is fighting. The drinking is implied. Where do you think the courage comes from? Liquid courage.
Agrim's already
And a little bit of
hollowed out-
stupidity.
He's already hollowed out his wooden dagger and put like booze in it with a cork in the bottom.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to be fighting these creatures.
Oh my god! Please tell me the
Staggering.
dwarf
Like I'm
the dwarf-
staggering through like a fucking like.
I mean,
does
the illusionists have them react perfectly. Like when you approach them, they jump back like ah.
Does the dwarf captain's peg leg? Does he keep booze in it like the what's his face?
I'm sorry, not everyone is the
that's a
same level of
it's a missed
alcoholic.
opportunity.
I mean, Riverin is like throwing her daggers because that's what she's been taught to do, and then like duck rolling.
Damn
She's
it!
doing the Dark Souls rolling over there to pick them back up.
Taught her how to throw axes. Now she throws everything.
Peg is like standing back to Kelly. He's very serious about this. He's got a staff and he's like, I'll defend your back, milady. Ah! Yeah!
I'm gonna go up to
combat
Kelly.
skills
leaning
are
on his back because I'm drunk. I'm like,
his combat skills are
yeah.
super negligible. They have to games journalist his opponents for him.
I'm gonna go over to Kelly and be like, I'm also equally fucked up. Throw me, but don't tell the elf.
okay. I pick you up and it's just like I hammer toss him. Like I do like 3 twirls and I'm like leaning backwards with the pendulum and just fucking launch him.
Okay, make an attack roll. I want to know how much damage Atomic takes from this.
Fuck
Oh,
yeah,
heck
let's
yeah.
just
This is
do
not.
it.
This ain't a ghost throw. This is a real fucking throw, motherfucker.
I've got my silver painted wooden axe too. So he's throwing me like that.
See him go flying by. I'm like, I didn't know he could jump that high.
Do you want me to make a strength roll? Or how does it
Yeah,
work?
just a regular attack roll.
regular attack. So that's strength.
Do I
plus
count as a ranged
4.
weapon?
No,
Hmm.
you're very, very improvised.
Plus
Improvised weapon.
4 plus what is a
Your
base?
proficiency bonus.
Yeah, what's the proficiency? Oh, it's 3 right now. Okay.
Are you proficient in dwarf tossing?
Okay, Agram, you only take 1d6 points of damage.
All right.
You
But
go
as a
barreling through
projectile.
like 6. Okay, you're gonna take.
1 point of damage.
Yeah, we'll use your roll. Go through like 6 of the enemies and they all like disapparate, and it's clear the illusionists were not prepared for whatever you guys were gonna do, and like they hastily swoosh, and then like they have to have more jump over from the ghost ship. They're like, we were below decks.
in like a bowling like configuration, like a triangle.
Is something
I like
got
to-
clown makeup on because they like fit 300,000 ghosts into a single ship?
I like to imagine that, it's because I'm drunk, right? So, when you're drunk, you're very loose. He hits the ground and just rolls and just like flops, but he's fine because he's drunk. And so he's okay. He just didn't take very much damage.
Like
from
the drunks that survive car crashes because they just,
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
like
it's, you
completely
just,
limbo.
yeah, pretty much. So I just hit the ground and just do a little roll. And then it was like, yeah.
Daco would like get behind Riverin, point her at things, and like let her know and cast fly on her so she can fly with her dagger. and
Oh, let me tell you
fucking Peter
something.
Pan.
This arena, they may not have been ready for random shit, but when you cast fly, they have like a ghost come up to meet her in the air. They're ready for that.
There you go.
This goes on for like a half an hour, and they stop when Haig is like leaning on the staff, wheezing. The ghosts are like, "You repelled us this time, but we'll be back, Captain Saltbeard. Your crew nary will survive the next night. Har 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 har." And then like the ghosts sink beneath the waves, and there's like ghostly light as their ship sails underneath yours. And then the captain is just like, "Aye, we survived this night, but shall we survive the next one? I guess we'll find out on the return." Well, you won't be on the return. Well, Who would like to melt some marshmallows?
Oh, my hand up.
Aye. We've got
What?
special stocks from the
What in the
Elven lands. A rare treat spun of pure sugar.
The fuck is a marshmallow?
Try it. Har,
You'll
har,
love
har.
it.
I'm just gonna, yeah. Whenever we get to it, I'm just gonna like take it. I'm just gonna smash it against my face. Just marshmallow all over.
I mean, it's just super squishy, so you're
Oh, yeah.
There's totally, if there's a montage here, Daka and Kelly totally have a chubby bunny competition.
Oh god.
See, this is all you need to do to make content out there. Just
There you go.
So
Put this shit
Haig
in
at the
front
end
of
of this is like heavily drinking in a way you've never seen him do, and he's like, "I've never felt more alive than this moment. Thank you all." And then he just falls over asleep, covered in sweat.
At some point, I'll be like, I like to think that seeing him drink, I've now been drinking with him a little bit, but as soon as he passes out, I'll be like, at some point, it's like, you look like you need a drink, and I'm just gonna pour some on his face. And you're like, you're good. Just pour whiskey on his face.
It's traditional, you know.
You know, he could just be resting. You know, if he's like,
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I went to
college.
college. I understand. You just pour alcohol in someone's face randomly to see if they're awake or not.
Yeah.
And it's 45% alcohol by volume. That's fine. What's it gonna do? Breathe it in? It's good.
Put him in the recovery position.
Just roll him on his side. It'll be fine.
It's just our flammable goblin, you know.
Nah.
I think you should
45%
know
enough to
all
set him on fire.
goblins are both flammable and inflammable.
Anything is flammable if you throw
Schrodinger's
enough fireballs
goblin?
at it.
What?
Schrodinger's goblin.
100% of goblins. Kobolds as well. Is there anything else you all want to do for the night?
I assume at some point we start breaking out in sea shanties.
Absolutely. If you want to have them, they're not dwarven sea shanties. They are orcish sea shanties, and the crew will teach them to you.
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
heck yeah.
Why not? Yeah, I'll start singing sea shanties. It's probably slur like every other word because I'm shit faced, but it's fine.
So yeah, I mean, at that point, the crew goes off duty, and they continue telling you stories, but instead of ghost stories, they tell you stories of their time during the Orc Elven Wars that happened recently. I mean, for them, recently is like a few years.
I'll pay super attention to any war stories. It's my
Well,
jam.
yeah, I mean, like, they tell you of the nightmare of the evil drow who spill out from the ground at night to fight them, and like the drow are led by an evil dragon emperor whose breath is like lava and who jealously clings to the like the wealth of the earth, and the orcs have been
That's what happened to that guy.
the orcs have been forced from their ancestral homelands, and like the elves, I don't want to say the good elves, but like the forest and the forest and plains elves were forced back onto their islands by the drow, and they've like quarantined themselves there, and they turn away all visitors so that they can concentrate on traveling under the tree roots of their islands and fighting the drow there, because they believe the drow is their problem, and the orcs have offered to go help. Like, several of these orcs here were part of a party that went to the elven lands, and the elves were like, leave, and they're like, no, we want to help, and like their comrades were killed and the orcs ran away, and it's like these people are telling you some really fucking sad stories about how they lost their homeland.
Is it all in Orcish?
They speak common because they're all either half orcs or orcs. But yeah, like they'll tell, like one person will tell it in Orcish and the other person will translate it in English. Kind of like if you were watching some sort of like TED talk by someone who's yes, exactly.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't just sitting there drunk, just hearing like.
That is not what the orc language sounds like, motherfucker.
Well, yeah.
Don't the in
This was a
D&D,
huge
aren't
thing on
dwarf-
Twitter this week where people were like, orcs are listed as being automatically evil, and I was like, not in my world. The orcs have been
No,
intelligent in New Game Plus the whole time. They have their own culture where they transmit all knowledge through whether they trust someone enough or not to tell them the literal truth. I was like,
We've done the same
fuck
thing with
you,
hobgoblins.
Twitter RPG community. You don't know shit about orcs. I'm the master of
RPG
orcs now.
as well.
I've done
That
that with
whole thing
hobgoblins
about the
before.
racism stuff as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god, holy fuck.
Yeah.
dude.
I was like, look,
I
I made a whole fucking orc society where the god of war was like, man, orcs are doing so good. I'm gonna become a half orc. I'm doing that for you. I didn't used to have a race. I used to be racially androgynous, but I'm half orc now. That's goose and goes,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Twitter's
Yeah.
stupid. I'll have to. I think I've regaled people with the story of somebody who's gatekeeping the various subclasses based on what they're based off of. Like,
I don't know. I can never keep
Like-
track of that shit.
Oh, it's racist if you play a monk if you're not Asian.
Oh yeah.
It's just
Look, I designed a Western monk. He
I just-
studies, he studies Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man style things, and he's like, oh, I need to like punch someone here or here, and like he walks around with a tonsure and a
doctor.
staff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I had someone.
I
get.
have a PC character like that ready to go if I ever get invited to somebody's D&D game.
I literally had someone get mad at me and start calling me names because I found out I had a bear totem barbarian and I'm a white dude. And I'm like,
I don't know.
oh, fucking whatever. Yeah, if they tell their drow stories, I will. When they're done, I will, in a drunken way, tell my drow stories. But it's like some words missing because he's drinking and or drunk at the same time.
Okay.
So I will return the story for story, as is tradition.
If there isn't anything else, you guys wake up the next morning with some.
Hey, we have a
Yeah.
thing for this.
Yes, you do have Bizarro's Wondrous Recovery.
Right.
The best spell in the game.
So
Who needs
did we
wish?
actually discuss who is falling on the proverbial sword of leaping into a faith?
It was I was
I think,
the one
Agram was-
falling on the sword, I believe.
Yeah,
Sort of plan.
so maybe in the morning I'll come find you and I'll be like, so what? This will be after I've recovered my.
Oh yeah, no, we we get some bacon and eggs or something and be like, oh, I feel like shit. Feel great.
So, have you decided what you will do?
Well, I mean, I'm not exactly sure which of me is going to come back, but I'm sure we'll be able to make that decision because we've told the story. I've talked about the blue people, right? What we saw
Yes.
the last time, because I think was
I
I the
don't
only
think
one who
I've
saw
ever
them?
seen them.
You're
No,
correct. You've
I've
never had
no.
a past vision of them. That is correct.
Yeah,
And I think you're the
And-
only one that hasn't.
Yeah.
I have.
yeah. Okay, I was gonna say I thought there was at least one other person that also saw
Yeah,
them.
Finley and Agram both seen the blue people.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah. I'll explain or I'll retell that just because I don't remember how long it's been in game since we talked about whatever. But yeah, and so like, well, if I'm remembering correctly, I got to make some choices there, so I should be able to influence it quite a bit, but not 100% sure. But I'm thinking that we need a bit of oh god, I'm trying to remember what we talked about last week in trying to choose one of the gods. We narrowed it down to what, Goose and Guys, and then the other one. The fuck was it?
Wellwind, the god of justice.
Okay. Yeah. Was it Whirlwind or was it
Wellwind is the tempest.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you
So-
shared with me a D&D Beyond sheet that had you as a Tempest cleric, so I assume that was what you settled on.
Okay. Yeah. I couldn't. I was getting the names confused. Because I keep wanting to. I keep thinking of. Oh God. The normal.
You mean
the normal
the light god?
gods. Yeah. I I keep getting the names for the gods. Other than Goose and Guz, I get the other names mixed up so much because we
There's
don't.
there's
really use them as
Hallow,
much.
which is the
Hallow is the god of
That's
knowledge.
the one.
Heros
Yeah, that's-
Firebringer is the god of light.
Okay, it was the god of light. That's the one. I get the names confused. Anyway, I also keep getting confused with the names of Pondo's gods in his game. So they're just okay. You know, I mean, they're just whatever. Anyway, but
No,
yeah, I
you know,
think,
the only people.
Tipples-
Listen, I've never seen, beyond any of my own characters, I've never seen someone who casually worships a god that isn't a cleric. I've never seen someone be like, "Wow, you know, praise Hector. That's a
Yeah.
real god." I am a follower
do-
of Hector, and someone was like, "Are you a cleric?" I'm like, "No,
No.
you know, he's just a super strong god of like evil strength. I would
Oh,
rather
yeah.
that
We
kind of
do,
guy not be
I
angry at me. I
feel
give him a
like-
coin every time I go to his temples."
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. I do that in Pondo's game too. Is the god that my tiefling follows is kind of like he's kind of like Crom in a way, but kind of like Odin also. So it's kind of like a Valhalla kind of thing going on. But it's like he's a god, you know, battle. You know, he's anti like a lot of his like because they're like monster hunters or you know whatever. He's just a god of like battle war or whatever, and can show up in like your time of greatest need, whatever. So like you know, whatever. But he's not like super, not like a fanatic, but definitely like reveres him because it's just you know, it's a god of fighters and such. But so yeah, I mean, I'll say that you know, we fucking derailed that conversation so fucking quick.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'll definitely tell Kelly the you know kind of the rough idea that I have there. I mean, his only concern is how are we gonna make it work with the whole because like everybody we bring with us, like for example Haig, right? You know, he bringing him into the fold. He lost all his stuff from his goddess, which I guess I mean she or god of death or whatever, right? So
Yep.
I mean I guess that makes sense, but we're trying to ally with another of the gods, kind of a out
Well,
of necessity, right?
What I'm hoping for is that the gods are just like like just aware
Yeah.
of what's happening, and then bringing in someone with a high level stuff would just be like, all right, we got to talk to these dudes because we got to set a game plan. Like that's what I'm hoping happens, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure what will happen. So
I guess the way I guess Agram is kind of looking at it is the lesser of two evils. Like we have some opposed stuff, but at the same time we have a bigger problem, right? So you know, at least for the time being, we should be able to, you know, common enemy. That's what phrase is looking for. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, if there's anything else, I mean, you want to bring up or any thoughts or whatever else.
no, I'm just glad that you've come to a decision that you're going to enlist the help of one of you that can help us in this situation.
Which is
So.
it's not. I believe too. Agram was. I mean, more or Agram 1.0 was loosely aligned with Whirlwind, I believe as well. A lot of it was like a very common Ranger thing. So it's not unknown to him, like when it gets to that point. Because she's also the god of nature and such, right?
No, the god of you worship Nimgul Among Us, the god of nature.
Okay.
You
So
were just a ranger of. Listen, lots of gods.
Well, it just didn't. It's just I remember the concept. I just don't remember the fucking
Yeah.
names.
I got you. Don't worry, we're there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fine. You know, but I have an idea out of character. I have an idea in mind for how to make it work too. Other than just essentially turning into fucking Thor. Does anybody else have any? I mean, having this conversation at what I assume to be breakfast or something, right? So if there's anybody else that has anything else they want to input, if you
You
guys
have
are
that
there,
premium shipboard breakfast. Okay,
fuck yeah.
they can't cook it hot, but what they do have, they got plenty of. I mean, we're talking northern ice peppers. We're talking fish. We're talking some premium meats. All
Yeah,
right.
breakfast fish is the shit, dude.
Yeah. Cheese, basically unheard of up here. You got it.
Yes.
Fucking one of the best. I mean, fucking Boy Scouts waking up, sleeping in a fucking tent, but waking up, fucking deep fried catfish for breakfast.
Yeah. Yep.
It's good.
I know that.
It's good.
Yep.
It's good. Fresh caught too, right out the lake. It's good stuff.
Unfortunately, they can't deep fry it here for you, but
Yeah. God, now I just want deep fried catfish. God damn it. Deep fried gator's good too, by the way. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add to that, really. I mean, it's
yeah,
kinda just,
I mean, you have a full day of sailing. They take you past historic, places where battles were fought, or, like the first landfall of this explorer or that explorer. They tell you about, like historical events or tourist locations of importance to the people of the Clans of the Flow. If you've ever been on like a party boat or a tour cruise, you know exactly what you're in for. Like, it's not 100% interesting unless you're into it. And if you are into it, like, Riverin is basically glued to the fucking boat, Leonardo DiCaprio style, right at the front with the captain, just absorbing everything he has to say, learning how, like, boat physics, basically. Like, how does this work? How does this work?
Well, I'd be interested in like the battle stuff that you mentioned, only from like a sage point of view, not a sage point of view, like an archaeologist point of view.
Yeah, so,
Finding
I mean, you
relics
can
and stuff.
see in several places where ships have been sunk, but it's less than 30 feet deep. And because the ships don't have masts or anything like that, you can just sail right over them. So perfectly intact ships where you could see like two ships rammed together, sunk each other, and then went down, have been turned into like marine arcologies, essentially, with like coral growing out of them and seaweed, fish are living in it.
It's felt like there's a lot of that in the Great Lakes and such, or kind of like like USS Arizona, and you can see it just below the surface of the water.
Yeah, like there are plenty of places like that. You can see skeletons where like people who were wearing armor fell overboard and just sank to the bottom and couldn't swim back up, and their armor is rusted but still intact, and like they're clutching a rusted weapon, but they're pinned underneath the wreckage, or they're just stuck to the
Has anyone got detect magic on them?
Yeah, there's nothing magical here. Like, someone would have salvaged it over the years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, they've left these. They leave the dead where they lie. I'm sorry that other people had the same idea that you did. This very easy idea.
No. I was literally just mentioning Atomic just necking a bottle of whiskey just then.
That's not a new thing, dude.
But you're so sly about it. You're just like this.
I just
just like a quick one.
Yeah, that is definitely not
just
new.
casual. Yeah, just casually. I mean, because the glass is on the other side of the house, and fuck it.
And I don't want to get up, and
I don't.
make more dishes, and
Look, I've got 3 types of Desco. We got Tullamore Dew as well, and we got some Scotch. But it is not for drinking out of a bottle, but I do it anyway because I'm a barbarian. Anyway,
Imagine Daka can see pretty deep because, like, Devil's Sight. How does Devil's Sight work underwater? Like, can you still see through the darkness there? And,
I
like,
agree.
I've
I
got
agree that
Devil's
it would
Sight
work.
too.
So,
Yeah.
at some point it will be cut off by like silt and water.
Right.
Like, the darkness part has no problem to you. So you see like 70, 80, 90 feet down, but there are parts where you can't see the bottom. And it's pretty rare because the water here is usually not very deep. Which is why they mostly use shallow boats. But there are places where it does go deep enough, and you can see wrecks that clearly have not been touched in any way. There is some weird shit living in the deep areas. Like, I don't know if you got, like, I don't know that your characters have ever seen like a squid and an octopus and
Probably
like
not.
a coelacanth before, but there are some like humongous fish living 100 feet down.
I might have read of like folklore tales of these things, but that's about the extent
Like,
of it.
the
right?
two of you are
Or-
watching as like like a miniature kraken, an octopus like
Yeah, I was
swooshes
gonna say-
through the water, and you're like, what the fuck is that? And then it like eats a fish. You're like, oh my god, that horrible tentacle monster is consuming that beautiful fish.
It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
Everybody
imagine
else
the
is just
extent-
like, "What's going on? Oh, it's dark down there."
yeah.
if they mention it, if either of them says anything about it, I mean, I think the extent that at least they, like any like sailor's tales, like it was dark and stormy night, and whatever, and like tales of sea monsters that are obviously overly exaggerated, but it's like you describe something, it's like that
You
sounds
see
like
what
a thing
you think
from a
are
thing.
like little dragon. We would recognize them as giant eels, but you're like, "Oh fuck, are those like dragons down there?"
Hey, look! It looks like
wingless dragons. Yeah.
it looks
Would you-
like the it looks like the bone snake from the.
Oh
desert.
yeah, it would look like the bone snake. Yes, the Nagas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The two of you see some weird fucking shit that nobody else sees.
I kind of want to dive those wrecks, to be honest with you, but we don't have. We are
Do it at
not
some point.
equipped for underwater shit.
Dave is like, "Well, let's start spell 1, water breathing. No. Lights. Nope.
Step 1, everybody rolled Triton. Then we started salvage.
Ability to
one.
float back to the surface. Nope.
water
I
walking.
have
Do we
fly.
have it?
Water,
No, no.
water
I'm
breathing.
pretty sure I have water breathing prepared. Hang on.
You're a druid, just turned into a fucking squid.
It's mostly for other people.
In 5e,
Yeah.
you can use water walking to climb up to clouds. You can
Yeah, you can
jump
use-
off of raindrops.
It's
It's
I don't
fucking
have-
wild shit. Like
Wow.
it's basically like you have to climb a
did.
staircase up however far you want to go, and that's
Is it like
exhausting.
Oh,
is
yeah.
it like Minecraft Steve swimming up a fucking waterfall?
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
like,
yeah,
bruh.
pretty much. Yeah, there's some silly shit you can do with stuff like that. It's hilarious. It's like rules is written and rules is intended.
I mean
it's
that
like,
that
which one you
is
doing?
So-
that is how the spell was intended to work. You can climb up rain. It's just exhausting.
So can
So-
you like?
Written,
I
if
can
you're
cause
orc, you
water
can fall off
breathing
a
on
mountain.
10 willing creatures, and it lasts for 24 hours. So
You offer that like as Kelly's looking over and is like, "I want to."
I
yeah,
think now's the time.
I can derail some more shit.
Stop the boat. We're going to the bottom of the ocean.
we got some weird monsters to teach the funny walk to.
That's right.
Hey, here's
He
what you
wants
do.
to
You
learn how
dive
they're
down
doing their
there,
funny art.
speak to animals already enabled. Just be like, yo, bro, we're just gonna take a peek. We're just gonna take
That water's also probably cold AF.
yeah. Indoor elements. We don't
Just stack all the spells.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's
I
like a
don't
lot
want
of
to
them are
die of
hot.
hypothermia.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't.
The fact is I'll have to remove my armor.
Yep.
And I'll be
Oh, that's
basically
right.
naked swimming in the water.
If I drop mine, I only lose like 1 AC.
I don't know if flame swords work underwater. They probably don't.
does.
They might. It's
It
magical.
absolutely does, but it's going to cause a
Just
trail.
boils the water.
Yeah, it's
This
going to
is
cause a
just
trail
boils
of
the water.
bubbles everywhere.
It's like, have you ever watched underwater welding?
Don't use your breath weapon under there. Jesus fuck.
If you breathe, water breathing.
No, Kelly is lightning.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. You definitely don't want to use lightning underwater.
Why? What could possibly go wrong?
What
Alpha?
could go?
I don't know
Especially
why
salt
players
water.
ever ask that question.
So you're
It's like
saying
you
if
never
I
learn.
if I dragon breath into the ocean right now and kill everything, it's safe to go down?
I mean, you'll kill everything in a 10-foot wide, 60-foot long column, but if you do it while you're in the water, you'll also electrocute yourself.
I'm resistant, bro.
You'll still be damaged by it.
All right, let's keep going on the boat. There's no stopping the fun bus. Even
I mean, we can
even
make a note to come back at some point. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Add that to the
tag,
list.
write it down.
Add it to
Come
the
back
list.
to ocean at some point.
It adds it to the list. Of course, the list will disappear, but
You know.
He's a memory dude. He's got this.
Yeah.
the cleric.
Well, like our memories and shit
keep
remain.
it.
So
As far as you know, yes.
Yeah.
Certainly, that's what you believe. As far as you remember, that's true.
You know what? I'm looking over the edge. And I'm just like, there's probably a good chance we've already dove in there and didn't find anything cool. and
with
just
your devil
probably
sight
died.
on the side of a ship, you just see
That
like
just-
Kelly was here.
You know, hey, Dave, you know how sometimes, you'll be like, I'm sure in some timeline, it's like, I'm sure in some timeline, Agram has dove over the side and fist fought a Kraken. Like, that's a thing that has probably happened.
Yeah. Every single timeline, there's just like a million different Finleys, and every single one, Finley's like, I have water breathing. That doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Yeah.
I love the idea that there's
Why
something
not?
whispering in the back of your mind, Kelly, saying, but what if no Kelly has done this? What if I'm the first?
What if I'm the first?
That goes against my religion, Arthur.
Your religion doesn't mean that you've infinitely done everything already.
Yes, it does.
If you've
That's what I
infinitely done
believe.
everything already, then wouldn't you have already solved the problem that has you infinitely resetting? Boom! You haven't succeeded yet.
Or would that one just be free from the cycle?
Arthur, that's exactly it. Like, I believe that I'm not just myself resetting. I believe that every single person is a different person, and I can call on their support.
That's
when I
certainly
need
what
it.
you believe.
Yeah,
Is
that's
it
what
true?
Kelly believes.
No, but that's what you believe.
100% not.
Except for the person that escaped the escape room because you can't talk to them. They're outside.
Exactly. You were onto it. So, Arthur, until I meet blue dudes, this will be my belief.
You actually had a fifth member of your party, but that was 1,000 cycles ago.
We call him the escaped.
Yeah.
Escaped.
He's a new
We
god
don't
in his
talk
own
about him
timeline
anymore.
now.
The one that got away.
We call it the incident.
The incident. We don't talk about the incident.
We're all aware of the incident, so no need to discuss it.
Someone mentions the
Sometime
incident, and everyone turns and looks at them.
just before nightfall, you pull up at the Clans of the Flow central area. You've learned that the place is just called Crix.
Jesus, that guy has an ego.
All of the clan villages, wherever they get set up, are named after the person that runs them. And so, since this is run by Clan Crix,
Yeah. Well, Crix the
Ego.
Wise also named his son himself. But
Crix is strong. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not
They're all
not
named Chris.
uncommon. I mean,
That's like me, like finally realizing that Kim Jong Un's name is actually Ung,
Yes.
not Kim.
That is his first name.
You know, like, you know what I mean?
well, if I remember correctly, Agrim's father is named Grim. He's Agrim, you know, because he's Agrim, son of Grim.
I mean, it's only you who could remember that because I didn't design your father. So
I think I
Yeah.
mentioned it like way at the start of the thing.
Well,
like,
Arthur actually did design your father, but you skipped him.
walked right by him.
He's like, my son will be here any minute now.
My
it's been
son
3 years.
My son said he was just going to the bathroom. It's been 12 years.
He didn't have his phone with him. Did
Oh
he?
my god! I saw a great thing. I know it's derailed. It's like, yeah, I got this really important math problem, and I would like people to help me figure out. He's like, a gas station is 15 miles away. If the average person walks at this speed, why does it take it so long for my father to come back from getting cigarettes?
Yep.
I
Yep.
lost it.
You're ushered off the boat. The captain the whole time is just like, "You sure you don't want to take the return voyage? You've paid for it."
You know what? I give him an extra 100 gold just to be like, no, we're good.
Like, keep the change.
We had a good time. I drunk. Well, if you find the bottles, you understand. I
I'll
drunk
like,
a lot.
I'll like ask for one of the daggers, like
The wooden
daggers,
silver painted daggers.
and like give it to Riverin as like a souvenir.
Okay. Like, just to be clear,
The show no
she
longer
knows
happens.
that it was a show.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's still like
It's a memento.
Hey,
It's her
Grim.
Klimo coin.
Yeah, there you go.
She's like,
I
I'll
just
never forget.
realized-
I'll never forget until I wake up in a mountain and Nitz isn't here.
I
Because
just
I don't know how her items work.
I just realized, Agrim,
Hmm.
you gave up the only item that we could have used to store all our money in,
I didn't
The box.
know
the box. I didn't think about that.
that. Well, I mean, a little late.
I thought you guys had forgotten completely about the box.
Unless
you
we-
guys
you
are
know,
like,
there's a way we
how
go
can I
back
make
up
a
the box."
soul-bound item? And I handed you one that could store infinite stuff, and you were like, I don't know, I want a demon horse. Oh my
Watch it be
God.
like
Yeah,
fucking Terminator. The
was-
box comes back, but nothing in it does.
No regrets.
Well, but the thing is, I mean,
Well,
we
it
didn't,
was
I don't
a
think we ever
waifu,
thought about it.
and it's also like a refrigerator. We could have had meat.
didn't know
We
it was
could
a
have
fucking
like we could have killed a kraken. woke up in a mountain, had some fresh calamari.
Man screaming in field, "Where are my glasses?" Well, his glasses are on his forehead.
Look, I put my keys down right here, as he points with his keys.
Yep.
Oh boy, I've done
We've all
that
been
more
there.
times than I'd
we've
like to admit.
We've all done
When
it.
you're on the phone, asking the person on the phone where your phone might be.
Oh yeah, I've
Phoning-
taken my glass. I've taken my
Phoning your
glasses
own
off.
fucking phone to find your phone.
Look, I've taken my glasses off and like put them like on the neck of my shirt, like hung them there, and then spent
Dude.
literally about an hour and a half looking for my glasses before I go to the
Googling-
bathroom, and I look and I'm like, oh shit, that's right.
Googling how to fix your internet when your internet's down.
Dude.
That's what the
One
phone's
time
for.
I poured myself a glass of milk or orange juice or whatever, put the orange juice back in the cupboard and the juice back in the fridge and went back and sat down.
I once boiled a kettle and I put some instant coffee in a cup, and then I poured the kettle inside of the instant coffee tin.
Oh no, that coffee's too strong.
That's a strong cup of coffee right there, my man. When you have to
yeah.
chew your coffee, it might be a little strong.
Some say his chest hair is still growing to this day.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
What is the plan
LGTs.
here in Crix?
All right.
We gonna touch the freaking crystal.
How do you plan to get in Crystal Zone?
Bro, we
Gonna
walk
knock
in.
on Crix's strong door, I guess.
Okay, so you're
yeah.
headed to the Guzangazian stronghold.
Yeah. 'Cause
When
we
you
know
get there,
all the-
Crix is he's like not happy to see you. Crix is like, so you've returned. I've sent my own crews out in order to catch the king of the frozen northern char.
change of plans. We need to see the crystal.
I will not stop you. I would just prefer some follow through on future policy. And he opens the door for you, but he's still super pissed that you basically were like, here's a big side quest, we're gonna undertake it. And he's like, I will arrange everything. And the next morning you're like, peace out, bitch.
You know what? We're gonna make a
Give him a
sizable donation.
Yeah,
Sizable
gotcha.
donation.
How
Gotcha,
much are you
let's do
giving
it.
him?
The rest.
No,
Yeah, give him the
fuck
rest.
it.
We're not gonna use it.
yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
He's like, okay, well, this will cover. I offer you the blessings of Guzangas.
Like, well, now that I'm richer than a god, I guess it's okay.
Fucking.
How much is a Porsche?
Yeah.
Our reputation with him is at -10, and then we just gave him enough money to just our reputation is now like 100. Like we just maxed out the meter.
Sat
Yeah.
there for 10 minutes with the up joystick. Just fucking, come on, man. There should be a button. Give all.
Like why doesn't it just speed up?
Yep.
I've done that before.
But
Set something heavy on the keyboard and then piss off.
we got some stuff to change. I'm actually going to change some of my core stats around, so I'm not at a.
So you're also going to touch the crystal?
Yeah.
All right. So Agram, you're touching it as well.
Oh yeah.
Anybody else?
I'll be getting hands.
I mean, we can touch it without changing stats here.
You don't need to touch it if you're not going to change anything.
Yeah.
Atomic,
can-
are you turning into a cleric?
Yeah.
Okay. I will not touch.
Unless you want
mean-
to change some core stats around, Spoot.
Mm,
Oh, I thought he already did that.
yeah, I already
The
did
messed
that.
up ones and then
Okay.
fixed them.
Yeah, I'm good.
Because I'm going to get rid of this -1 dex.
Oh wait, no, I had a fucking feat that I wanted to get rid of in exchange for something else, right?
I don't know.
Not
I
a feat,
don't-
talent, or
know.
whatever the fucking called is. I've been playing too much Pathfinder. I'm sorry.
Was it
They are
was
called
it a
feats.
warlock? Was it a warlock thing?
No, it was I wanted to swap Tunnel Fighter for
Oh, right.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. it wasn't
something
a feat.
else. I can't remember what it was though.
Tunnel Fighter
But
is.
tunnel snakes rule.
Because
Where
I
are the
had too
tunnel
many
snakes?
uses.
Tunnel
'cause I had
Fighter
two-
isn't a feat. It's part of. Isn't it a fighter thing or something? It's a fighting
No,
style.
no. Yeah, that's what I was going to change. I was going to change the fighting style
Okay.
from Tunnel Fighter to Defender to get my 1 AC back. That
Okay.
I'm missing.
Defense.
Sure. Just know that you won't be able to do the infinite.
I know.
Okay.
I know. I just have too many uses for.
Understood. You will wake up under a mountain, and I guess we'll find out more when we come back for the second half.
Ba-boom.
Stick around. Which Prime?
All right.